As we start, I want to ask you all a question. Is it me, or has the media's portrayal of women just become so negative? Are we hearing every day about what we cannot do, about the guilt we should have for not having it all, for that ever elusive, perfect work-life balance that we're just never going to have, the negativity, the limitations? If it weren't bad enough, we pick up the Sunday Times this week and the president of Barnard is telling us we should find satisfaction in second best. We're going to talk about the 5 things you need to do to have your all. But before we get to that, I want to take us back on a little time capsule backwards to why we are here today and why we have this problem as we hit rock bottom. When I graduated from college, first of all, there was electricity then, but what there was not was cell phones. We were still using typewriters to write our English papers. Technology and the media's presence was not so pervasive back then. And the messaging that we were being fed was much more positive. Today, when I speak to college women on campuses, I tell them this. This weekend, get a 6-pack, rent Baby Boom with Diane Keaton, and Work Girl with Melanie Griffith, and get inspired. I mean, when I was in college, the message was, the world is your oyster, go out and conquer. Now, not coincidentally, when I graduated in 1987, of STEM graduates, 38% were women. And something started to shift. The 1990s come, we have laptops, we have desktops, we have cell phones, the messaging starts to change. Suddenly, instead of possibilities, we're being told about limitations. And for the first time in the mid-90s, after 2.5 decades of women in college choosing more careers and choosing different majors, for the first time in the mid-1990s, women started choosing less majors and going into less careers after college. Today, it's 17%. Ladies, we are back to levels of the 1970s. The other phenomenon that started to reverse in the 90s, and as we hit into the new century, is women don't go into leadership. We had great gains in the 70s, 80s, and the 90s, but as we hit the turn of the century, we started to see things peak off and actually start to come back down. This was so alarming to the president of Princeton University that in 2011, she commissioned the university to do a study of their college women, to ask them, if you can see the slide, what happened in 2000? Why are less women wanting to lead? It's all the same trend. What they found at Princeton, which they then believe is pervasive among college women across the country, is women were being told they shouldn't lead, that they should do the heavy lifting in the background and let someone else have all the glory. It was more important to them that they do the hard work and help people. They also, despite the fact that the Princeton women were academically outperforming their male counterparts, undervalued their skill set, while the men at Princeton overvalued their skill set. And I know that you're all shaking your head because this all sounds familiar to you. We're going to talk about how we have reached rock bottom and how we're going to move forward. We are going to hear the 5 things that you're going to need to do to have your all. The first is, women, we need to think of our lives in chapters. This is one of the most liberating things you can do, ladies. We've only been in the workforce for the last half century. Okay, so there is no traditional career path for women. You may be like Marissa Mayer from Yahoo, who had a pretty linear ascendancy to be the CEO of a Fortune 500 company, or you might be like me. I used to work there at Morgan Stanley. My first career was working on Wall Street. My next chapter was staying at home with my kids. And then in 2008, I was so upset and angry by how the media treated Hillary Clinton. I said, I have to do something about this. And I was part of co-founding the New Agenda, the organization of which I am now co-president. I am now president. Having chapters and knowing the chapter you're in is not a permanent state, but is just part of your journey, is something that will make your life rich with possibilities, not limitations. Now, while you are in the chapter you're in, you're going to need to do two things, ladies. The first is, while you are in that chapter, you need to give 101% to what you're doing. If you're at Morgan Stanley, you need to put in the hours and deliver excellence. If you're staying at home and raising your kids, don't put it on your kids. You need to be on the grid, fully engaged in your community, in whatever work you're doing that fulfills you during that chapter. The second thing we need to all do within these chapters is always have the ability to make money, have a skill set to fall back on. Number two, make decisions and move forward. You have to develop a process for making decisions. Because what happens for us women? So many times our non-decisions become our decisions because we're so paralyzed in fright of our mind spinning at night. What if I do this? What if I have regrets? That we don't make decisions, and our non-decisions become our decisions. So many of us still don't have a process, and it's a skill that you can learn, and it's not too late if you're in your 20s, your 30s, your 40s, or 50s to learn the art of making a decision. This is how you do it. First, you gather the facts, your own facts, your thoughtful facts. Second, you bring in the experts in your life. For my daughter, it was a guidance counselor at school, but the experts in your life that you're making this decision. Third, trust your instinct. We as women have incredible instincts, but we're afraid to trust our instincts. Then you make your decision and move forward. What you are allowed to do is acknowledge that you're giving something up. For my daughter, she played basketball. Okay, she's not going to get to hang out with the girls from field hockey. What you're not allowed to do is have regrets. Once you make your decision, you move forward. No matter which decision you made, you're going to give something up, and that's okay to acknowledge. But make your decision and be empowered to move forward. And now we're in our next chapter, and we're 101% engaged. We are on the grid in this chapter, leaning into our life. Number 3, practice courage. One of my heroines is Eleanor Roosevelt. And if you ever need to be inspired, go up to Val Kill to her house for a day. And what you will see at Val Kill when you walk in is a plaque that says, courage is more exhilarating than fear, and in the long run, it is easier. I want you to all think about that, because the media you're being fed is about fear and your limitations as women. But I want you to think about courage and possibilities, starting today, to practice courage. And I'm not talking about running into burning buildings kind of courage. I'm talking about the small acts that each and every one of us can start doing today. 4, have dreams and passions. I have 2 dogs at home. They're terribly behaved on the leash. So every day I take them to the trail. And every day without fail, they zoom out of that car and they go chase squirrels. We've been doing this for 8 years. And collectively, between my 2 dogs, they've caught 1 squirrel. But the act of the chase is what informs their lives and gives their lives meaning. Ladies, we all have to have dreams and passions when we wake up in the morning. Your dream might be to be CEO of Yahoo or to be a managing director at Morgan Stanley. Your passion may be to teach art to underprivileged children like my friend Marnie. But whatever it is, you need to have something you own for you. The media messaging to women is that we're supposed to help people and be selfless. Selfless is one of the most dangerous things you can do. To lose yourself, raising your children, in your career, to give up you. What I'm telling you today is that it is imperative that you have self-interests. Something that is about you. Something when you wake up in the morning that makes you want to get out of bed and start your day. Now, probably a lot of you in this audience are saying, I don't really have a dream or a passion right now. And that's okay. I'm going to help you start to find that dream or passion. Whatever it is that you read, the Wall Street Journal, the New York Times, the Huffington Post, whatever it is, or whatever TV shows you watch, tell me what gets under your skin. What is it that really bothers you, or conversely, really excites you? Think about what is getting under your skin, what impassions you. This is what gives your life fulfillment and meaning when you wake up in the morning. Number 5, support and be supported. I treasure more than anything else in the world other than my children, my friendships. And friendships are work. Among the top dying regrets for men and women alike is that they did not maintain their friendships. They spent their free time with their children and their families. They worked really hard. But it is imperative, ladies, that we cultivate and maintain our friendships, both professionally and personally. Now, I think of my friendships like a closet full of shoes. I have all different types of friends. I have the steady, sturdy friends that I've had forever. I have the pumps that I wear to work, and I have my stilettos that I go out dancing. I have all different types of friends, but what I'm always cognizant of is keeping the closet stocked with friendships. Because here's what else we know. Life throws you curveballs. Each and every one of us has curveballs in life, and you get 2 choices when you get that curveball. You can shrivel up and feel limitations and become a pardoned shadow of yourself, or you can reach out to your girlfriends and get the help you need. And I will tell you something that you already know but probably don't accept and think about. There's no greater gift than helping somebody. It is a gift to help others. So seek out when you need help and be there for your friends personally and professionally. So with these 5 ways, we are going to work on having your all, creating a happy, fulfilled, meaningful life. Life is short and precious. There are no reruns. So starting today, please have your all. Thank you.